A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Continuing with ayah 34. And when we said to the angels, prostrate before Adam, then they prostrated except Iblis. He refused and was istakbar, and he was from the kafirun. Usjudu li Adam, prostrate before Adam. This is a command. The default ruling of prostrating to other than Allah is haram, but if the command is directly from Allah, then it becomes wajib. Then, immediately after, then the angels immediately do as they were told. They have no issue with this command. Prostrating is done to someone who has a higher status, meaning by the angels prostrating to Adam alayhi salam, they were in a position to provide service to Adam alayhi salam. The Quran depicted the honor and respectable status of human beings. Illa Iblis, except Iblis. This is the first time Iblis is mentioned since the start of this story, even though he was all along together present in the gathering when Allah said there will be a new Khalifah, and when Adam alayhi salam was telling them the names of things. Who was Iblis? Evident in Surah Al-Kahf. Prostrate before Adam, so they all did, but not Iblis, who was one of the jinn. Hence he was not an angel as what the Christians believed. Aba was takbar. He refused and was istakbar. Since Iblis has built a status for himself by being with the angels, this was a test for him to prove his status of being a pious person. If he prostrate to Adam alayhi salam, then he will have passed the test. A senior who prostrate to a junior out of obedience to Allah, his status will probably become even higher. However, that was not the action that he decided for himself. He was used to making decisions back on earth, so this was another decision. Later we will see how Adam alayhi salam has never made a decision up to the point of the tree incident. Istakbar. The quick translation is arrogant. Actually, it was wanting to become big. The root letter kaf bara, where you often hear the adhan call for prayer, Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest, the biggest of everything. Biggest in importance, biggest in deserving our slavery, etc. So Iblis decided to refuse Allah's command and was istakbar. He wanted to become bigger than everyone else, to be big in status. So what if Iblis replaced Adam alayhi salam to be the Khalifah on earth? What is the job of a Khalifah? To worship Allah. Even to that extent, Iblis was jealous of Adam alayhi salam. It's not the worshipping of Allah was his goal, but the status of becoming the greatest worshipper and respected by all the angels was his target. Therefore, from here we learn that istikbar does not only happen in the worldly sense, people competing for higher grade at workplace or because of wealth, etc., but also happen in the religious sphere, where people wishing for religious recognition, example, religious teacher and followers wanting to be bigger, greater than the other group, in fighting in mosque, competing to be in the management board, etc. Kana minal kafirin. He was from the kafirun. Kafirun, the quick translation is disbelievers. However, Iblis did believe in the oneness of Allah as his creator and God. So the better translation is rebellious, unfaithful after knowing the truth. So we cannot yet label any non-Muslim as a kafir. It may be that he has no knowledge and was not at all introduced to the truth. He might become a believer after knowing the truth. Kana, he was. This is past tense. So Allah already knew Iblis was a kafir all along, even though the angels and Iblis himself were concealing it. The creation of Adam revealed Iblis' true character. What makes him to rebel against Allah's command? To prostrate with your head at the level of a person's feet is very degrading and shows that the person you prostrate to is superior than you in rank. That might be his ambition all along for the rest of the creations to bow to him, and yet here he was being commanded to prostrate to Adam alayhi salam. It was not a matter of seniority or rank, but it was just a matter of following Allah's command. He has worked hard for years to raise himself up to a high rank among the angels, hoping of becoming the boss, and suddenly this new creation with no experience is outranking him. He saw his own greatness. Allah's command seemed unfair. He refused to be humble. He wanted respect and honor to be given to him, not Adam. Actually, he should be able to execute the command because of his seniority in worshipping Allah, if he was sincere. From the years of experience, he should be the first one to acknowledge the wisdom of Allah. He failed the test miserably because of his overwhelming arrogance. Years of worshipping Allah to boost his ego. He may have envisioned the angels bowing to him, But when they bowed to the new guy, he flipped and refused Allah's command. This one insincerity, meaning he will only obey those commands that suit his agenda or nafs desire. Having knowledge does not equate to sincerity. Getting knowledge is easy. To be 100% sincere is hard. If you are constantly being praised or constantly praising yourself in front of others, will make Satan's job easier to corrupt you. The greater knowledge you have, the more you bow in humility. A tree branch laden with fruits will bend even lower than those with less fruits. In other ayah, we will read on how Iblis was proud when he made remarks that he was created from fire, while emphasizing that Adam was only created from mud. He said it on purpose just to lower Adam's status. He was a racist. We look at Surah 7, ayah 12. Satan said, I am better than him. You created me from fire and created him from clay. Surah 15, ayah 33. He said, never would I prostrate to a human whom you created out of clay from an altered black mud. Surah 17, ayah 61. He said, should I prostrate to one you created from clay? Surah 38, ayah 76. He said, I am better than him. You created me from fire and created him from clay. A command from God is to be executed no matter what you think is logical or fair in your tiny mind. That's why Allah made that strong emphasis of He knows what you don't know. Tadabbur. What the scholars said, if Iblis was considered a kafir for refusing to do one sujud to Adam alayhi salam, what about people who refuse to do the daily sujud to Allah? Both Iblis and us are commanded by Allah. However, we are commanded to sujud to Allah Himself and not Adam alayhi salam. Which one is a bigger commandment? Sujud to Allah is a bigger commandment. In regards to arrogance and chasing status in society, we have to be careful not to end up like Iblis. We see people who at the start of their career already thinking of becoming the boss, having status and not sincere in their job. There is a difference between people who work with passion of the job compared to people who work to shine the boss. People who work sincerely bearing responsibilities compared to people who work only for rank and status. This person's goal is to be a leader, getting respect and being proud of his status, where people can be ordered to do his bidding. When someone else gets promoted instead of him, you can see how this person is angry. Iblis failed because his goal in life is just to achieve ranks and getting promoted to boost his ego, unlike the angels who did everything based only on sincerity following Allah's command. If you are very proud and arrogant of your religious knowledge, worship and activities, that's Iblis. If you look down on other people while raising yourself with self-admiration, that's Iblis. If you always passing off remarks praising yourself while making remarks to lower other people, that's Iblis. Sometimes people get popular and rich via religion. Religious speakers get celebrity status. Religion has become a competing industry. It has diverted the layman people of the purpose and definition of religion. People rushing to kiss the hand of a popular alim. It has a damaging effect to his iman without him knowing. Satan will pounce over the opportunity to boost the ego of this person, to make him feel raised up in ranks among the people. Some ustads are telling ridiculous stories from unreliable sources, overly remarkable stories from dreams in order to make his classes interesting, drawing in more ignorant crowd, to be popular and respected by huge followings. When some of his errors or mistakes are highlighted by other knowledgeable figures, they and their followers will explode into enemy mode with hatred and jealousy. These behaviors are exactly what the ayat are warning us, the Iblis behavior. The infected religious group will want to be greater than the other religious group that they have disagreement with. Arrogance is the trademark of Iblis. Examples of severe arrogance in a person. He thought that people were jealous of him and goes around telling others that so and so were jealous because of his religious knowledge, which is actually lethal. His arrogance supersedes Iblis. Person A having bad thoughts that person B is showing off his status to make A look small. A got angry. After many years, he still cannot get rid of this grudge against B. A worked hard in order to one day show off to B. A felt this way because status and looking big are in his heart. Having grudge and to have revenge by showing off to B, his intention was to degrade B. That's Iblis. Iblis tried to degrade Adam alayhi salam by saying he is made from mud.